What's up, Facebook fam? This is your girl, Gail Crowder, the One Sexy Wife, and today is Tuesday, and you know what happens on Tuesday. It's Wife Chat Tuesday. So, go tell your girlfriends, hop on Wife Chat Tuesday. We're going to be talking about a hot topic. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Go share it. Tell your girlfriends that we're going to be talking about Wife Chat Tuesday. Hey, Trinice. Thank you so much for joining me. Hi, everybody. Thank you guys so much for hopping on. Tonight we have a amazing topic, and I had about 4 people to ask me to talk about this subject. So, on Wife Chat, I'm open to talk about pretty much anything. And so tonight we're going to be talking about how to have difficult conversations with our spouse. And this right here is something that sometimes I haven't mastered myself. And for you guys that don't know me, I'm a very honest, open person. And so that's the reason why I started Wife Chat, because a lot of times we think we're on this journey alone. We think that we're not able to, accomplish certain things. And I strongly believe that as wives, we're stronger together. And so I'm open to talking about anything and, being an open book and helping you guys truly navigate this thing called marriage. Thank you, V, for jumping on. Everybody, thank you guys so much for getting on. Make sure that you're spreading that Wife Chat is going down. I'm here every Tuesday at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, as long as you guys will have me. Hey, Lisa, thank you so much for joining me. And so, like I said, tonight's topic is one that, like I said, I sometimes struggle with. Hello, Wanda. Thank you so much for jumping on. And again, thank you guys. Make sure you're spreading the word that Wife Chat is going down. Thank you, V. Hi, how are you? You guys, thank you guys so much for joining me. And again, we're going to be talking about really how to have, difficult conversations with our spouse. And again, like I'm very honest, I haven't mastered this all the time. But I've gotten a lot better with having difficult conversations when it comes to communicating with Gail. And so I did, I've been at this in July 30 years. Yep, 30 years. Most of my life I've been married to the same man. So I'm grateful for that. But when it comes to communication, I thought I was like the guru of conversation. I thought I was the guru of communication. But how do the way I communicate with you guys is totally different how I communicate with my husband, because, as women, we can multitask in our brain, and we can also multitask in our lives. We could be, on the phone with our girlfriends. We could be cooking. We can be getting the kids, a bath. We can be doing it all, right? But the way men process information is totally different from us. Hey, Kiki, you guys, thank you so much for joining me. Rochelle, thank you so much for joining me. Tony, thank you so much for joining me. But as you guys know, we are built to multitask, right? We can do so many things and have so many things going on at one time. But men are built totally different. They process information totally different. They receive information totally different, and they react totally different from how we react, right? And so as we continue to hone in and understand how our husbands really communicate, it's going to make having difficult conversations a lot easier for us to communicate with our husbands. And as we go along in this chat, if you have any questions or anything like that, please post them. And I will definitely, if I can't get to them while I'm online, I will definitely go back and answer them. And if it's a personal question or a personal situation you guys are going through, feel free to hit me up in my inbox, and I will definitely respond. After I get off of Wife Chat, I always hang out another 15 minutes or so just to make sure that we are chatting. But I love for you guys to be on here. There's a few people that will respond right away for me. If you have something, there's Lisa and Kiki will always, help me out with this situation, but I will do my best to answer any questions. Again, I'm not just talking to you guys. I need some feedback as well. That's what Wife Chat is all about. So what was I saying? When it comes to communicating with your husband, you got to really know his style of receiving information. And that was one of the hardest things I had to learn when I was communicating with Gail. And I also have, been trained to help wives really figure out what that communication and information receiving style, right? And I'm able to coach women all over the world, but every man is different. So I'm just going to give you some general things, and you can kind of apply them, where if you see fit in your marriage. But we're all going to have difficult conversations. We're all going to have anticipation about how this is going to turn out. But the first thing you really have to realize is that your imagination can run wild before you even have the conversation, especially if it's something that is really pressing on you. So the first thing is control your expectations and don't allow your imagination to run wild. Because we can imagine, oh my God, he gonna say this, he gonna leave me, we gonna have this big blowout. Your mind can just take you places that you don't really have to go until the conversation actually happens. So the first thing I want you to do is control your imagination and allow the outcome to happen the way God wants it to happen. That's the first thing I want you to do when you're about to have a difficult conversation with your spouse. The second thing is don't avoid having the difficult conversation, because a lot of times we avoid having difficult conversations because, again, our mind has taken us all different places. I know what happened in the past. I know how he's going to react, all of those kind of things. And not necessarily is he going to react the same exact way every single time. So again, just don't avoid having those difficult conversations. The next thing I want to talk to you about is really knowing when is the best time to communicate with your spouse. A lot of times we want to communicate when it's convenient for us and not when it's convenient for them. You know how sometimes people wake up, and I know for me, when I wake up, I'm usually up a little bit before Gail. So when he wakes up, he is not a morning person. He does not want to be bombarded with a whole bunch of questions. See, I go to bed early, so I'm up early, so I'm ready just to go at it. And I'm asking Gail all of these questions while he's trying to get ready for work. And he's looking at me like, for real, G? It's 4 o'clock in the morning. You want to have this conversation now at 4 o'clock in the morning? Well, vice versa, right? He gets home really late and he's a night owl. And so by the time he gets home, I'm tired, right? And, he needs some wind down time. But my thoughts are is if I don't get it in now, as soon as you walk through the door, I'm going to be asleep. And then you're not going to want to talk to me in the morning. So then I want to go in as soon as he comes in, and he just got off a train. So he's not ready to process that information either, right? And so it's like, when is the best time to have these difficult conversations? So he's ready to receive the information. You are ready to give the information, and it's going to be a win-win setting for both of you guys. So the first thing is make sure it's the right time, because again, the best time for me to have difficult conversations with Gail is probably right about now when I'm on Wife Chat with you. If I had to have something, this is a good time. We've had dinner. He's at a relaxed state. I'm at a relaxed state, pretty much ready for bed, right? And so the conversation can happen. I'm not trying to talk to him early in the morning or whatever, but that's what works best for me at my house. So you have to determine that. It might be the weekends, it might be on Sunday, whatever it is, but you have to determine that. The next thing is make sure that you have what you want to talk about organized. Because we as women, again, we track totally different. We want to tell them the whole entire setting. We want to tell them all of these kind of things. And men are very checklist oriented, right? They are very they want to know the who, the what, and the why. They don't want to know all the details. We want to set the tone. We want to do all those things. And that's why they don't track along with us. Now, as a girlfriend, we can talk and we can just go, and you will track with me. But as a woman trying to have a difficult conversation, you got to have it written out, or you got to know exactly what your bullet points are. And the other thing is stay on the current subject. Stay on the current subject that you want to talk to him about, because it is so difficult when you trying to talk about remember last time and remember this time. See, it gets confusing for them. They don't track the same way. Second, okay. The other thing is don't use we need to talk or can we talk, because that automatically puts them in a defensive posture. Those words, you even see it on TV. Those words are like, what does she want now? Or what did I do wrong now? Or how long is this going to take? That's where their mind automatically goes. We need to talk. Or can we talk? Can we talk right now? Right? And everything that we want to talk to them about doesn't have to be right now. Now, if it's a life or death situation, I understand it. But everything we need to talk about, we don't have to talk about it right now. So really learn to change your language and learn to change your posture. And what I'm wanting you to get out of this is it's a way to get it done. And they're not in the defensive posture. They're in an environment where they're ready to receive information, as long as you have your information in order. The better thing to say is, I've been thinking. What do you think about? Or I would like a better understanding about that, or about this. If you use those 3 ways to leading in to get them to talk to you, those work out a lot better than we need to talk or can we talk, right? Because most of the time when we want to talk about difficult subjects or situations, we're angry. We done found out some not so favorable information. It's not always good information. And I'm not saying that if you're sick or something like that, you're not going to start off by saying, can we talk? No, you're going to say, you know what? I went to the doctor, blah, 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 right? And so you just want to make sure that you set the tone, and you want to make sure that your body language and your posture is correct. And sometimes it's hard, especially if you're angry. Sometimes it's hard. That's why I said you don't always have to talk right then and there when the information, has been presented to you, or the situation has been presented to you. The other tip I want to do is don't trap your spouse into talking to you at a certain time. And I used to be the queen of this. I will trap Gail in a car and try to have a conversation on the way to a restaurant. Because my thoughts was, we're in this box and you have nowhere to go and I don't have nowhere to go. I will tell you that is the worst outcome that you could ever do, is to trap someone into having a conversation with you. Or the other thing I used to do is I would trap him when we were on our date night, right? I would trap him in a restaurant because I thought, well, he ain't gonna get up and walk out the restaurant. But who would have thought that he would be like, we're not having this. And then I'm sitting up there upset. And it's hard to hide. Well, I use my facial expressions a lot. So my face says what I'm thinking. So the waitress is there and I got an attitude because he don't want to talk about what I want to talk about, right? And he like, do you really want to discuss this in this restaurant? I'm like, yes. And so it became this tension that didn't have to exist if I would have just not tried to trap him into talking to me, right? And so just be very careful. Don't ever put your spouse in a situation where you feel like I got you now and you're going to listen to what I have to say, because it's not going to turn out pretty. It really is not. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt. Okay? The other thing is keep an open mind that things are going to come out positive. And again, that goes back to your mindset of going into the conversation. Keep an open mind that things are going to turn out positive, right? And if you feel that the conversation is escalating and is getting out of control, and you're not able to articulate really what you're thinking, or you're not able to say what you really want to say, then just say, you know what, we have to come back and revisit this, because it's not turning out the way I'm trying to convey it to turn out, right? And it's okay to start over. It's okay that you don't have to resolve it right then and there, but you do have to go back and put a period behind it, because you wouldn't have had to have that conversation if something wasn't going on in the first place. But I realized that I didn't always have to resolve every single thing in that conversation. Most people will tell you, get it all out, hash it out until you're done. I'm telling you, that could cause you more stress and more strain, because then you begin to say things that you can't take back. You begin to pull in old conversations that you still hurt from, and it just becomes this snowball, and you're still not addressing the situation that was current. And so just make sure that if it gets to the point where he's not listening, you're not listening, or it's escalating where you can't manage it, then just say, you know what, we're going to have talk about this later, because I don't want to be getting upset. I don't want you upset with me. And I want to make sure that we can, put a period behind this and move on. And so having difficult conversation is part of life, and it's part of life with our spouses, our children, with our, our coworkers or whatever. But you really need to learn that if you organize your thoughts, choose the proper times to have these conversations, and don't start off, well, we need to talk, and I need to talk to you, those kind of things. Change your language, change your posture, and make sure that you're in a position to have your thoughts in order. And for me, a lot of times, again, I am very detailed when when I'm teaching and that kind of thing. So when I'm talking to Gail, I have to say, hey, I was thinking about, our finances. The other day we was talking about insurance and those kind of things. And Gilbert is very studious when it comes to finances, and I'm totally opposite. So that's the sore button, because he'll tell me, well, you didn't do this, you didn't do this, you didn't do this. And see, when you start telling me what I didn't, I get defensive, because he's right. But, I don't like to hear that I'm wrong, right? And so that took me a long time to be able to say that. But I didn't. So it got heated. But when he sat down and he was like, hey, G, we need to tweak this. We need to tweak this. We need to tweak this. I need for you to do X, Y, and Z. And when he gave me the checklist, I was able to receive the information a lot better, and I was able to execute, right? And so it's just learning how to communicate with the person, because he understands that I get mad and I get on the fence when we talk about finances, being that I am the one who is the worst at handling finances. And it took me a long time to realize that too. It really did, especially when it came to my business finances, because as soon as I was making it, I was spending it, right? And, I asked for the help. And so now that I asked for the help, I got to flow with the help. And sometimes it's not always easy, especially when I want a pair of shoes. And then I got to say, is that conducive for the business, right? And so, it's just learning to navigate those things. And that's a small conversation. I'm sure that people out there that's listening have much bigger conversations, and trust and believe me, finance, sex and intimacy, and how to raise the children are the biggest three things that go on in households, and chores and those kind of things. And so I understand that. And there's some people that are dealing with health challenges and infidelity challenges and all those kind of things. But all of those things can be talked about. All those things can be worked out. All those things can have a game plan. All these things can happen, but you have to be mature enough to understand how you receive information, how your spouses receive information, how you receive information, and put things in place to make sure that you're able to have those difficult conversations and they don't get to where they're explosive levels. Now, have I mastered this? Absolutely not. Have I came a long way? Absolutely. And I will tell you, if you just put some of these things in place and really have a well thought out plan before you approach your spouse. And I'm not saying you got to walk on eggshells, and I'm not saying all of this stuff got to be perfect. But what I'm saying is if you go into it with a game plan, you will have a much better result than if you just saying, we need to talk, and we're going to talk right now. And I don't care if you're watching the game. I don't care if you've been on the train 6 hours. I don't care, because we're going to talk about it right now. That used to be me. And I never got the results that I wanted. I was upset. I was frustrated. I would tell my girlfriends, he don't listen. It's hard to talk. I could talk to everybody but my own spouse. And I'm supposed to be living in a household with my best friend that I should be able to reveal and talk to about anything. But I had to learn the lessons, and I had to learn the skills to be able to communicate with him a lot better. And I will tell you that when I started implementing these things, I started getting better results. Our conversations are much richer. Our conversations are less heated. Our conversation, he executes more now that he understands, and I'm not giving him 1,000 things mixed up in one, and he still didn't understand what I was trying to say. Amen. So true. Thank you. We are like, yeah, spaghetti. Yeah, you're right, Lisa. Is there anything anybody wants to tell me? All right, I'm going to go back and look at all of these different comments. But again, I welcome you guys to give me any topics that you want me to talk about on Tuesdays, because I'm an open book. I thank you guys so much for joining me on Wife Chat. I absolutely love interacting with you guys. I have only 3 more spots left for Loving Him Without Losing You, which will be again on July the 9th. So you guys head over to my website and check that out. And I have some great news coming for my Ultimate Wife Summit. So you guys, for next Tuesday, be looking out for that. Because it's gonna be hot. I mean, this Ultimate Wife Summit is bigger than anything that God. I mean, it's gonna be huge, and so I'm excited. You guys are gonna be on a journey with me. For you guys who've been coming to BSB on a regular, this is gonna be beyond that. And I'm so grateful that God gave me the vision, and He's giving me the provision to carry this whole thing out. I thank you guys, my girls, Kiki, and all of you guys. Y'all know who y'all are, that holding me up in prayer and holding me accountable and making sure I'm getting things done. And when it comes to that, I thank you guys. And so if you have any questions or anything for me, you know how to contact me. I do offer a free 30-minute consultation on my website. Just go on the homepage to the bottom, hit that. I would love to connect with you. Like I said, I love you guys to pieces. Thank you so much for joining me tonight on Wife Chat. If you have a topic that you want me to discuss on here, I definitely will. I've got probably about 20 of them already. And what I do is I see the common thread. If more, like a lot of women like, Gail, how do I talk to my husband? He, whatever. So I address this, and I just keep checking them off, and I keep adding them. So I appreciate you guys getting on here. I appreciate you guys sending me the messages. I appreciate you guys saying, Gail, this worked for me. I need to hear that, because I don't want to be getting on here and not giving you stuff that you guys can literally use and get off of here and say, you know what, I can do this. I can implement this in my marriage. This is why I do this, because I want you to win. I want you guys' marriages to win, because I'm telling you, it can. You just gotta stay steadfast, pray about it, and just apply some of the stuff. Even if you just use one of the tips I gave you guys tonight, I'm telling you, it will change how you talk with your husband and how your husband receives information. All right, I'm going to get off here. I love you guys to pieces. I will see you guys next Tuesday, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Y'all have a wonderful night. Hit me up on my website. Hit me up on here if you have any comments. I always go back and read the whole entire thread. So if you post something, I will always make sure. Thank you guys. Have a great night.